world. And that's the first week of the Omer. And this year, the one we'll end up looking at a lot each Friday night, because it's the one that happens this year to correspond with the Friday column of my handy chart here, is Yisod, or foundation, virtue, morality, commitment. So tonight we have to think about loving kindness and foundation. And I found myself thinking a bit about the writings of the late 20th century, mid to late 20th century political thinker Hannah Arendt, who lived in Germany in the 1940s, who said that tyranny cannot take hold in a society in which people care about one another and feel connected to one another and trust one another. And I see a lot in our current political sphere on all sides, lots of you didn't, and you're the bad ones, and you're terrible. And I see lots of social media use of attacks, and we're tearing down the social bonds that connect one another at a time. And so I think tonight, and really this week, and really I hope possibly we'll hold it for the entire Omer process, I want us to think about what it would look like to create a society whose very foundation, whose very core value is once again chesed. So I think that's the core value of how Judaism sees a community. We're to show up to one another, for one another, to make a minyan. We're not supposed to daven or to pray or even mourn without a full community. We're supposed to care for one another through tzedakah, through food, through constant thoughts of chesed and those acts of loving kindness. And so my encouragement for us as we turn to count our Omer tonight is to think about the ways in which we can help turn in our own tiny ways. Maybe it's just doing a couple of extra acts of chesed for a stranger this week. How can we return to contributing to a society whose yisod, whose foundation is one of chesed, one of loving kindness, one of seeing the other as a holy a representation of holiness, and as seeing the other as worthy of our care and of our kindness. Even when we might deeply disagree, we still find something small and kind to do, to return ourselves to a yisod shel chesed, or chesed shebeyisod, loving kindness within a foundation. I will therefore invite us to actually rise and count tonight's Omer piece. You'll see the bracha, there's a little bit of an intention at the top of page 63, followed by the bracha, the blessing. We don't need let's do the first two lines of the English and jump to the bracha, the blessing, at the bottom in the Hebrew on page 63. And then you'll turn to page 64. And I shouldn't tell you which day we're on tonight until we've said the blessing, so I will simply say that yesterday we counted 5. I am about to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer, as is written in the Torah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat haomer. Hayom Shisha Yamim LaOmer. Today marks 6 days of the counting of our Omer. I'll invite us to remain standing. As we know, I said there would be lots of jumping in our prayer book. We're now going to go back again to page 56 and on to page 57 for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'atei ketula yotzer breshit. Shelo asanu kikoye haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkenu kahem, vegoralinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Shehu noteh shamayim ve'yosed haaretz, u'moshav yikaro v'shamayim imaho, u'shchinatu zo, Begofim Meromim, Hu Eloheinu Ein Od, Emet Malkeinu Efesu Ato, Kakatu B'Torato, Be'atayom Le'hashivota Elevavecha, Ki Adonai Hu HaElohim, B'Shamayim Imal, Ve'aretz Mitachat Ein Od, Ein Od.
Kakatu b'Toratecha Adonai yimloch le'lamed
V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. You may be seated as we turn to the Kaddish Yatom, to the mourner's Kaddish. We ask that God grant that the memories of those who've gone before us be a source of strength for us and for everyone in the house of Israel. May the souls of our departed find peace in God's sheltering care, and may we all be blessed with peace, tranquility, and the fullness of life. This week, as a congregation, we mark the yahrzeits of Judah Akiva Blakesley Ringer, of Thelma Lessie, Gerald White, Natalie Levy, Erwin Matheson, Israel Rotkin, David Pohl, and David Pollock. I invite all who are in mourning or observing a yahrzeit, or any for whom it's your custom to do so, to rise as we turn to the Kaddish Yatom, to the mourner's Kaddish, page 58. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. Ve'alma divra chirutei ve'amlich malchutei. B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uv'izman kariv ve'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olmei omaya. Yitbarach ve'yishtabach ve'yitpa'ar ve'yitromam ve'yitnaseh ve'yitadar ve'yitaleh ve'yitalal shemei dekudesha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma ve'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabba min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. The one who creates peace in the heavens, grant peace to us, to all Israel, and to all who mourn. Be seated. It's my pleasure this evening to call on our secretary and officer of our board of directors, Jill Oletsky, who will share some announcements with us. We've got plenty going on soon. Coming up.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you to everyone who has joined us in person and online. Thank you to Marianne Newkirk and Frankie for setting up the Oneg. The Oneg is sponsored by Beth Shalom and will take place in Classroom C. Tomorrow, join us at 9:30 a.m. for Passover Day 7 and Shabbat services. On Sunday, join us again at 9:30 a.m. for Day 8 of Passover. Both services will be available in person and online. A reminder, there will be no virtual evening minyan on Sunday because of the Chag. Join Rabbi Greenspan tomorrow for Torah study after the Kiddush. Next weekend, join us for Shabbat services on Friday night, April 25th, led by Rabbi Greenspan and Leah Magen. Then on Saturday morning, April 26th, we'll call Leah to the Torah as a bat mitzvah. Chosen Meeples will meet after Kiddush. Men's Club has tickets for the Orioles versus Nationals game in Washington, D.C. on April 22nd. There are still tickets available if you'd like to join us. Please contact Scott Klein. And on Wednesday, April 23rd, Yom HaShoah commemoration will take place at Temple Isaiah at 7 p.m. Courageous Conversations will take place from 7 to 9 on April 23rd at the Maryland Turkish American Center, April 29th at Beth Shalom, and May 6th at St. John Baptist Church. Registration is required. To volunteer on April 28th, please contact Marian Newkirk or the office. Join Nevanim on April 27th from 10 to 1 for a nature walk or hike at Trolley Trail in Old Ellicott City. Community in Stitches also meets on the 27th. We're not done yet. Sisterhood Shabbat is May 3rd. All Beth Shalom women are invited to participate on the Bima or from the sanctuary. The men's club will be preparing the Kiddush lunch and welcomes anyone who wants to help out in the kitchen. To lead a prayer, receive an honor, or volunteer, contact Sisterhood or the office. And a reminder, the World Zionist Congregation elections are still open and voting closes on May 4th. Also on May 4th, Mahjong meets from 2 to 4 p.m. Then at 3:45, the Beth Shalom Green Team invites you to join them for a guided hike at the Howard County Conservancy. That evening at 7 p.m., Adult Education will host a Yom Hazmaut movie night featuring Hats of Jerusalem with food provided. Cantor Apt will be teaching a virtual class called The Listening Room, the music of Naomi Shamir, on May 1st, May 8th, and the 15th at 7:45. Hebrew knowledge is a bonus but not required. The Beth Shalom Talent Show and Silent Auction is on June 8th. Check out the weekly email update for registration information. And lastly, you can always check our website at www.beth-shalom.net for more information. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Yes. Lots coming up, and most of that was, was only within the next month. Two things. One, on Sunday's service will include Yizkor as part of the 8th day service, and though not directly related to 8th day Pesach Yizkor, there is another moment of need for remembrance this coming week. The Federation will be hosting the annual Howard County Yom HaShoah commemoration. There will be a display it'll be at Temple Isaiah. There will be a display of some sort at 6 and the service at 7 at Temple Isaiah that I'll be participating in along with many of the other Howard County Jewish clergy. And so I invite you to please attend that. And whether you're able to attend or not, thank you to our men's club. You should have received a bag with a yellow commemorative candle from the Federation of Jewish Men's Club and organized and delivered by Beth Shalom's Men's Club at some point last week, the week before, it should have been delivered to you for those who are local-ish. So you should light it on Wednesday evening, whether or not you're able to attend the service at Temple Isaiah.
And there was a misread. The Courageous Conversations, the first one is not April 23rd, but April 22nd.
Yes.
So they're all on Tuesdays. So,
Yes.
the first one's not during Yom HaShoah.
Yes. Right. That was by design.
Yes.
So plenty happening this week, this coming week. But you can't have your chametz back until Sunday night, sorry.
Yeah.
Paula technically has until 8:30, has an hour after, so 9:32 p.m. on Sunday evening to get everybody's chametz appraised and decide if she wants to pay that amount to fully lay claim to our chametz. If you do not hear from me by 9:32 p.m. on Sunday evening, you can assume that the sale had fallen through, but you have to wait until then. Chag will end on Sunday at 8:32, so if you are looking forward to your post-Passover pizza and pints, look for a pizza place that's open late on Sundays.
Oh, you'll have I'm wishing everybody
On
good
Easter
luck
Sunday,
as
no
much as
less.
because
On
it's
Easter Sunday, no
yeah.
less. So, but 8:30 on Sunday when you can go out for chametz again, 9:32 when you can consider reclaiming what you tentatively sold to Paula. For now, we should conclude our Shabbat and festival service with Yigdal, page 62.
Yigdal Elohim Chai v'yishtabach Nimtza b'yineh Tel Netzirto Echad yin Yachid Keyichudo Ne'elam v'gam Nimtza V'yachduto Ein lo Guf v'yeino Guf Lo na'aruch elav kedushato Hadmon l'davar asher nivra Rishonim Rishim Bereshito Ino Adon Olam V'chol Nozar Yoreg Gvulato U'malchuto Shefa Nevuato Netano El Anshe Segulato V'tifarto Lo Kam Yisrael K'Moshe Od Navi U'mabit Etmunato Torah Natan Le'amoel Al Yad Ne'iyah Ne'man Beito Lo Yachal Yifa'el Ve'lo Yamir Dato Le'olamim L'zulato Tzofeh B'yodea Sitarenu Mabila Sof Davar V'kamato Gomel Ish Chesed K'mifalo Noten Rashara Kerishato Yishlach et Yamim B'shichenu Lidon Chakiket Yeshuato Mitim Yechayel Baruch Chasto Baruch Hadehan Shem Tehilato Mitim Yechayel Baruch Chasto Baruch Hadehan Shem Tehilato. Shabbat Shalom. Good to see everybody in the room and on the Zoom. Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach. Again.